This is my master lock combination lock opening device made from Fischertechnik parts. On this end here there is a TX controller which has a display on it. There's a buzzer to tell me when it is done. A motor that drives the arm to open the lock. Got 3 indicator lights and 3 switches. Then over here is where the lock sits. There's a spindle that turns the lock and an arm that pulls on the shackle. Up here there's a switch that counts the pulses of each gear tooth. There's 40 teeth on this gear which matches the 40 numbers on the combination lock. And there is a home switch that tells the device where the lock is at in the 0 position. The first switch on the mechanism operates this arm, which pulls on the shackle of the lock. It's in the open position. If I hit the button, it'll close it up over the lock. If I hit it again, it'll open up and allow me to put a lock in there. I set this lock in here. Now I push the button and it closes the arm over the lock. And I can insert this pin in here, and that goes behind the shackle. Now when the arm tries to move out, the lock is locked and it cannot pull out all the way. There's a switch here that tells the controller that the lock did not open, and there's a switch here so when the lock opens, the arm goes all the way to the switch and it tells the controller that the lock is open. The second switch is to 0 this indicator that rotates the lock, so every time I try a new combination it'll always start at the 0. And this will come around and hit its limit switch. Then I can 0 my lock here, lower the mechanism down, now if I hit the button this will rotate around, make sure that the lock ain't slipping, and it should rotate all the way around and stop at 0. Okay, look. And should be, the lock is at 0. Okay, now I got the lock in position. Now I got to enter the 3rd digit into the controller. The last digit is 22. Okay, go back one. Okay, now that that's entered in, now I can start the lock opening procedure. Now I have set the controller up so that the 3rd digit is 22. Now I'm ready to start the process. When it starts, it'll try each of the possible combinations until it finds a combination that opens the lock. If it does not find a combination after trying all possible combinations, the buzzer will beep, telling me that beeps 5 or 6 times to tell me that it's finished and hasn't found a combination that worked. If it does open the lock, there'll be a steady beep telling me that the lock has been opened, and it'll tell me what the combination is on the readout on the controller. So now we're ready to start it up. Now this light here will be flashing. It might be hard to see if I turn down the light here on this one. I'll try to keep the light here so you can see what's going on this end. This light's blinking as it's looking for the first number. Found the first number, now it's going to the second number. On the second number, it's got to rotate the dial back all the way around at least once past the first number and then to the second number. Now it's got the second number. Now it's going to go to the third number, which is 22. And it tries to open the lock. The lock did not open, so now it has to clear the lock. So the dial is going to rotate several times to clear the lock. So as it passes the 0, it'll shut off each light in turn. So it's going to go around 2 more times to clear the lock. Okay, just passing the 0 point again. Now it's going to go 1 more time. When it reaches 0, it's going to try the next combination. The first one was 2022. The next combination will be 6022. Then I'll try 10022 until all the first digits have been used. Then it'll increment the second digit from 0 to 4. Then I'll try 2422, then 6422, and continue on like that until it finds a combination that works or it's used up all the possible combinations. Now it's gone to the first digit. This will continue until it gets to the right combination, so I'll skip ahead so I can see what happens when it enters the right combination. Okay, we're coming around now to enter the next combination, which will be 18022. This is the combination that opens the lock. So now we reach 0, so now we'll start counting pulses for the first digit, which is 18. We'll come back around once around 18 and into 0. Alright, we're coming up on 0 now. Now it's going to go to 22. And there you go. The lock has been opened. I'll take and remove the lock. Gotta raise the indexer up. Pull out the shackle pin. Then I can lift the lock out and you see it's open. 18022.